I'm making a video today. This is so uncharacteristic of me. I just grab the phone, turn on the video. Just woke up from lying down. My hair's all messed up. I haven't shaved in days. I'm so vain, but I just didn't care about my appearance. And it's weird because, like, I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to say it. So I just figured I'd turn on the camera and start recording to see if I can say what I want to express on this somewhat rainy day here in Orlando, Florida. If you saw my video the other day, like me talking about expressing my doubts, like I thought, Vince Taylor got me excited about doing a competition, and I never thought of that before, but then got me excited about it, started training for it. I kind of like started thinking about it, and then if you saw my video the other day, then the doubts crept in, right? Which is pretty typical. And so I expected that to happen. I've done a lot of stuff in my life where that's happened, where the doubts crept in. So I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was going to come this soon. I did a video about it, and several people responded to me personally, in person and by phone, about that. And I guess that's what I want to talk about. I find it really interesting. Something seems to happen when you start stepping out in faith and walking towards something that you don't even believe yourself that you can do. Interesting things start happening. So I'm not gonna lie, since I was a teenager and I found bodybuilding, I've always dreamed of being a bodybuilder, and being in a bodybuilding competition. I just never thought I had the physique for it. So this is pretty much a lifelong dream. Then Vince Taylor, 5-time Mr. Olympia winner, the 22 IFBB title holder, comes up to me in the gym and says, "Hey, do you compete? If you don't, you should really consider competing." So that like reignites that dream. And then I start taking steps for it. Start taking steps toward it. And then these doubts start creeping in. And then I get stuck in my own head, like I talked about in that previous video. But here's what's interesting. It's part of this process. People seem to come out of nowhere supporting me. In this instance, in this example, I'm talking about me, just for the example's sake. But this totally applies to you. It is the same principle. So people all of a sudden start surrounding me and supporting me after I've stepped out and I'm walking towards this dream, and then start experiencing doubts. I'm reluctant to mention names because I don't want to leave anybody out, but I will mention names. One of the first is Dimitar Sabatino. One of the Dimmy, as I affectionately call him, is one of the strongest men in the world. This man is superhuman. He's overcome so much. He's done so much work to gain what he's gained. He's living in a country where he wasn't born. Man, if you've never done that, you have no idea how hard that is. I've done that, and I know how hard that is. It's really freaking hard to live in a different country, in a different culture where you didn't grow up. Just live, period, right? But man, he hasn't just lived, he's excelled here. In everything he's done. And, I'm just so lucky and blessed to be able to watch him train. And now I think I can say with confidence that I'm lucky to say that I can call him friend. Which means a lot to me. So I get to see him train in the gym at Kissimmee Muscle Gym, and we'll get to that in a minute, because there's another soul that came out of nowhere to support me. I get to see him train, I get to see him do these amazing things, And then Floyd, another huge, strong power lifter at Kissimmee Muscle Gym, shows me videos of Dimmy, this competition. Dimmy's warming up. Dimmy's still warming up. And he's already exceeded all the competitors. All the competitors there, he's already broken all their best lifts. And he's still warming up. Floyd showed me that. I get to experience this, pretty much daily at the gym. I'm at the gym 6 days a week, right? Sunday I take off. Today's Sunday, is my off day. So I'm doing, I think I was doing some bicep exercises, and Dimmy comes over to me the other day, and he's like, Dan, I saw your video, and he said, everybody goes through that. He said, just don't get stuck in your head. I can't quote him word for word. I wish I would have had the recorder on when he started talking to me, because it's something I probably replay daily for the rest of my life. But he basically tells me, don't get stuck in your head. Just set the goal. Just focus on the goal, and just do the work to get there. And then he tells me, this guy who does these superhuman feats of strength. And then he tells me, like, you don't think I deal with that? He said, I'm human, man. I deal with that. And then he starts showing me these videos of him attempting to break a world record with a one-handed dumbbell lift from the ground and overhead press. I forget how much it was. It was over 300 pounds. 300-pound dumbbell, over 300-pound dumbbell with one hand. And he shows me the videos of him attempting to break that record. And it was like, there were 7 attempts. I think it was 7. I think on the 7th attempt, he broke the record, and he hoisted that thing. 300 pounds. If you don't lift weight, you can't. If you don't lift weights, you can't even fathom what that is. Basically, that's like one human being lifting 2 average human males overhead with one hand. So he shows me that. He shows me all the attempts, and how he failed time after time. But then he tells me also the amount of training behind that there was so much training before that, and so much failure time after time after time in training. And he didn't have to do that. He's He's a man on a mission. He is right now, he's focused on getting ready for another competition. And so he needs to really be careful how and where he expends his energy, because that's all we got in this life, energy, right? So he didn't have to do that, but he showed me that. And that was an encouragement. But what it really was, if we break it down to its core essence, that was love. That was love coming through at a time when I most needed it. And then, out of nowhere, Jonathan, the owner of Kissimmee Muscle Gym, I think it was that day or maybe the day after, the days are starting to run together for me, right? The older you get, the faster time goes. And when you're at the gym every day, the days just start to run together. So it might have been that day, it might have been the day after. Basically, Jonathan tells me, hey, it's time to shit or get off the pot. He didn't say it like that. He was much kinder about it. But he said, man, just pick a contest. And he's just pick a contest, man. Just pick it. Set a date, put it on the calendar. He said, what will happen is it's just going to pay off in so many ways. It's not just a physical thing. It's going to pay off emotionally, spiritually. There's so much growth that's going to come out of this. And so I went home that day and went to the NPC's website. And I saw a contest that looked good. So I hesitantly kind of thought about it and went back to the gym the next day. And then Mary was working that day, and that's Jonathan's sister. And so I showed her that contest and I said, hey, what do you think about this one? She said, oh yeah, I know the promoter. I know the judges. It's a good contest. That's a good one to shoot for. It's November 1st, by the way. And another nice little benefit, it's local. It's local here in Orlando. So that was another person just appearing out of nowhere in my life to encourage me, to keep me moving forward towards a dream. So I went home that day. Man, I can be stubborn. I went home that day and I registered for the NPC, but I did not register for the show. So I texted Vince and asked Vince, what do you think about this? And then I went back to the gym the next day and I saw Jonathan again. And I said, I talked to your sister Mary. She says it's a good show. What do you think? He goes, it's a good show. Just do it. He goes, we'll put it on the board. And so you'll see the countdown, the number of weeks to the countdown. He goes, and it's local, so we can get a lot of people there to support you. And, I also have to mention Cheryl Mears, who is also a huge inspiration to me. She and I have been talking. We met again at Kissimmee Muscle Gym, just to meet, just meeting amazing human beings there. And there's so many others that I've met who are amazing and such an inspiration to me. I'm not mentioning them all just for time's sake, but Cheryl and I We met at the gym. We start talking. I walked up to her like a total fan. She was so gracious. She was so gracious because I like walked up to her like a total fanboy. I'm like, excuse me, do you compete? And she was on the cardio and she was just like just finishing her cardio, and she was so nice. And she talked to me, and then she told me her story. Man, that's either going to have to be a separate video, or you're just going to have to read her book, because you're not going to believe her story. Man, all I'll tell you is this. When I'm feeling down, or I'm feeling bad about myself, or I'm making excuses for why I can't do the things I want to do, or when you're experiencing that, you need to read Cheryl's book, which will be ready soon. I'm helping her get that ready. She's writing it. I'm not writing it. I'm just kind of guiding her along and nudging her a little bit. You just need to read her book. None of us have any excuses for not doing anything after you hear Cheryl's story. She should be dead. She should be 6 foot under right now. I mean, actually, she should be 6 foot under a long time ago. Not just because of some recent stuff. But, yeah, but she's not. She still walks the earth. But in reality, if you want to follow the regular path of the sheeple, as I call them, in the best case scenario, she should be disabled and homebound, pretty much in bed all the time, unable to take care of herself. But Cheryl has been invited to the Masters Olympia in Japan this year, which is it's just coming up in just a couple months, just in August. And she's in the best shape of her life. She looks amazing. I mean, she is a true walking miracle. And that woman has graced me with her presence and her friendship. And all of a sudden, there's another human being just supporting me. For no reason, no incentive. She had no. And she should just be focused on herself, right? I mean, this is her story's amazing, and this is the biggest opportunity of a lifetime. That 0.00001% of the people in the entire universe get this opportunity. She should just be laser focused on that. But yet, she's supporting me, some 60-year-old dude entering his first amateur bodybuilding contest. Amazing, right? Sorry. They say when you choose to live your authentic self, it is the biggest risk you can ever take, because what you risk is rejection. Most people will reject your authentic self. And for somebody like me who grew up being a people pleaser, right, for survival reasons, after what happened to me as a child, I developed into a people pleaser. So for somebody like me to choose to live authentically, man, it is like, it's scary. But, I'm 60, I should be dead. I survived a heart attack that nobody survives. I mean, they say when your largest heart artery is like more than 90% blocked, the LAD, whatever that stands for, that's the largest artery in your heart. When it's more than 90% blocked, people who have that heart attack outside of a hospital, only 6% of them survive. So my LAD artery, the largest artery in my heart, was 99% blocked. My second largest artery in my heart was also 99% blocked. You know, I had my heart attack in the gym. A day before that heart attack, with the two largest arteries in my heart 99% blocked, I was doing pendulum squats with 315 pounds for 20 reps. So, you know, I shouldn't be alive, but I am. So, you know what? After that experience, the people pleasing and worrying about what people think just went out the window. I just finally at age 60, I finally grew the balls to just be my authentic self, just live my life as my authentic self. So, you know, I won't apologize for showing emotions. In the past I would, but now I'm not gonna. Because when you think about this story and everything that I just told you, it's kind of like Einstein said, you can look at this life as if everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle. I just told you stories that are all miracles. And that's how I'm looking at life nowadays. So my point in all this unscripted, blubbering, rambling is, and I don't have the words to explain this. I'm going to do my best to try to explain this in words. Based on my experience and based on things I've read over the past 40 years and based on the experience of others that I have observed in business and the people I've talked about in this video, Demi, Jonathan, Mary, Floyd, Cheryl, Vince, all these people are miracles in my life. So my point is, I don't know why it happens or how, but something seems to happen when you step out in faith and start moving forward towards a dream, desire, goal, whatever you want to call it. Outside forces seem to come into your life to support and help you. And many times they manifest as other human beings. And it never would have happened if you hadn't stepped out and started working towards the desire. There's something about that. You know, I guess you'd call that faith, right? There's something about taking that step in faith that seems to activate some sort of unseen force. This benevolent force that's going to come to your aid. And people are going to come into your life to support you in ways you never could imagine. In ways you never could have imagined. People you never could have imagined. If if that ain't the definition of a miracle, then I don't know what is, right? I am a simple, self-educated man. Certainly not the most erudite of human beings. Grew up in the Midwest. I speak like a Midwesterner. If you've ever read anything I wrote, I definitely write like a Midwesterner. I mean, here's a little secret. I exaggerated in my writing. Like, it's a creative persona. I exaggerate that folksy Midwestern thing. But I ain't the educated, erudite dude with a bunch of letters and initials after his name. I'm just a self-educated guy. So I can't explain any of this. So I guess I'm just gonna ask you to take what I'm telling you on faith at this point and prove it to yourself. But something happens, man, when you make that decision and start doing the work consistently and persistently, in spite of all the challenges you encounter, all the physical challenges, which are nothing compared to all the mental challenges you're gonna face, and all these obstacles that are gonna come before you. Most of those obstacles are created by you, by the way. Created by your nervous system. They only exist inside your nervous system. But man, when you just keep moving forward, you just keep doing the work, miracles happen. Something happens. Some force comes into this thing. And people are going to start coming into your life. Situations, circumstances. What did Carl Jung call them? Serendipities. Start coming into your life. It's gonna blow your ever-loving mind. It's, in spite of all the doubts, in spite of all the fear. If you're like me, you're gonna be scared shitless pretty much most of the time. But if you just keep moving forward, just keep showing up, just keep doing the work, this force is going to carry you, and it's going to put people around you who are going to lift you up and support you and love you. I've learned so much from Vince Taylor, man. Vince told me we are going to train to stimulate, not annihilate. And so I finished a set. I think I was on the leg extension. And Vince says, I need you to about 60% right now. I'm like, okay. 60% is a piece of cake. I can do that. Because, man, I've been pushing myself way more than that. But I understood what he was talking about. Because Charles Staley, a few years ago, a world-renowned strength coach, once told me, I asked, he has all these Olympic gold medal winning athletes flying in from all over the world to train with him in his garage gym when he lived in, I believe it was Arizona. And I said, man, what's your secret? How are you getting these guys results like this? And he said, there's no secret. It's punch the clock workouts. Punch the clock? What's that? He goes, it's like a factory worker, man. They just go in, they just punch the clock, and they go in and they do their 8-hour shift, turning a wrench or whatever it is they do. And they just do it. He goes, so we just apply that to the workouts. You just go in there, you do your reps, you do your sets, you just put in the reps, right? Like, pretty much most of the time, probably 99% of the time, you ain't breaking any personal records. You just punching the clock, man. but you just keep showing up to punch the clock. So when Vince said that to me, when Vince told me we're gonna train to stimulate, not annihilate, and then when he told me like you need to be at about 60%, I got it. I totally got it. I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing punch the clock workouts. I know this sounds batshit crazy, right? It wasn't that long ago that if I would have saw some guy rambling like this on a video, I think, yeah, dude lost his mind. That's just woo-woo crap. But now I'm living it. I mean, I've experienced it. And I am in the middle of it now. I'm living it. So I guess, I don't know. I sure wish I could have explained this more eloquently, more concise, not so much rambling, but I just needed to get this out. I almost feel like I recorded this video for myself. Now we'll see if I got the balls to actually publish this, right? But but if my recent experiences are true, oh man, there's no buts. My recent experiences over the past 2 years are true. And the truth is, all is one. Then if my intention really was to make this video just for me, then that means it was just for you.